Hello and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Lightroom Quick Tip. Today we're going to be talking about editing, moving our editing skills that one step further as we progress. And one of the things that most people do is they take an image and then they run it through Lightroom or Photoshop and, work the sliders, and they do their adjustments on the image and call it a day. And that is how we begin to learn, and it's a valuable thing to learn. But there comes a point where it's time to edit creatively, okay? And so that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to take an image, and then now we're going to, instead of setting the sliders right on exposure and contrast and so forth, which we're all used to, now we're going to look at a photo a different way and edit it. And so I've got a photo up here that's been edited already with the main sliders, the brightness, contrast, all that stuff in Lightroom. And I have it up here because I want to discuss this photo with you guys at first, so you understand. Now, nice image, okay, but a rather ordinary image. Okay, and what I mean by that is, over across the entire image, we're exposed. It's just, where's the eye going? The only thing that has any kind of leading is the road, and we could use light and dark to direct the viewer's eye and make it a more interesting photo. And if you start looking at photos, okay, and I recommend this, get online, go on to Flickr, whatever your favorite resource is for looking at photos, and look at people's photos and look at good ones. And you'll find out that one of the things that have all photos have in common that are good is, we'll call it uneven light. And that's where they lighten and darken parts of the image to make the image itself more interesting. And so it's a concept that requires practice, okay? But with anything, you'll have it in no time whatsoever. So I've picked this image here. It's a beautifully composed image, nice road running right through it. So that gives you your leading lines, right? That's a part of composition. But it's evenly flat lit, okay? And so we could make this picture more interesting, all right? Now, the rule is, we have to turn around and go with light, right? Where do we want light? Where do we want subtract light? Now, lighter parts of the human eye, we want this road, okay? This road right here, we want that. So this road, we're going to want to have the eye go to, okay? And so that's going to be our number one objective. This stuff to the side, we want to kind of like darken down because we want the human eye is attracted to light. So whatever the lightest part of the image is where the eye is going to naturally go. So just doing some simple things here, saying, okay, this is my objective. I want to draw attention to the path. I want to detract attention from the sides, and we do that by light and dark. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and see how we do. Okay, identical image is opened in Lightroom, and we'll get started. All right, so first things first, like I said, it's already been developed, right? We've done all these wonderful sliders here in Lightroom. We did, everything's done. We've got the images the way we love it. Now we're going to creatively edit it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like using graduated filters. I like using the oval filters and so forth. Okay. All right, so that shows you how often I get into Lightroom. All right, so I'm going to do a linear gradient and a radial gradient is what I'm going to use on these images. Okay, so we'll start out with the linear gradient. So I have a thing, and now I'm just going to drag out Okay, and as far as you go, you can see what areas you're affecting. All right, I'm looking to take care of the stuff on the left. I want to take that down a little bit. So I'm going to put a gradient like that, and I'm just going to take the exposure down just ever so slightly. Okay, not going to be heavy-handed. And you can come back, make adjustments by doing that. Okay. And again, we can really see. Okay, I'm doing an extreme so you can actually visualize what I'm doing. Okay, but I'm just going to take it down. Okay, and so that's the first gradient. Okay, I want to darken the edges a little bit like that. So I need another one to take care of the other side. So I'm going to create a new mask again, and I'm going to do another linear gradient, and I'm going to draw this one out and put it into my affected area. And I will take the exposure down a little bit there as well. Okay, so now I've taken the two ends down, and we're looking pretty good. As you can see here, this is what I want you to get to. I'm not showing you anything earth-shattering on the image. I'm teaching you the technique to work your photos to make them more interesting and more dynamic. Okay, so turning that on, look at what happens to the image, right? It's for some reason, it's taking a different look at us. And again, look at, and now watch. Now, for some reason, our eye is being drawn to the road. And the wooded sides are like almost aesthetically, we're ignoring them almost to the point of the path. All right, so we've darkened down the two edges, and now we have the road. Now, what did I say about the road? We wanted to lighten that a little bit because our eyes are drawn to light. Okay, so to do that, we're going to do another mask, and this time we're going to use the radial gradient. And now I'm just going to turn around and draw out a gradient. All right, and we'll drag that into position, and I'm putting it over the road. Okay, and you can rotate it if you need to so it matches the road. And now all I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to brighten that a little bit, and so I'll bring it in here and maybe a third of a stop. Okay, and again, see how we're bringing interest, we're directing the eye. Now you can't explain it at first, but you look at this and you're going, why does this look more aesthetically pleasing? And you go, all we're doing is directing light. Okay? And this is what I want you to get from this. All right? Now, right here at the bottom, it's distracting my eye. I need to darken it down here. So I'm going to make another mask. And I'm going to do another linear mask. And I'm going to draw up another one here. And I just want to put a little darkness into the thing. And you see how I'm wobbling back and forth here? That's mainly because I've had too much to drink, right? But if you hold the shift key down, all right, you're restricting while you're holding the shift. It makes you keep it perfectly straight. All right, so that's about right there. And I just want to do a little bit of darkening, okay, on the edge there. And so there we go. So before and after. Okay? Again, it's a technique. It's one that you want to advance to when you start editing your photos, is edit your photo, do all your contrasts and your brightness and your shadows and so forth. But the last touch, okay, the last step of your editing, I want you to take it to this level. I want you to go, okay, how do I want to direct the viewer's eye? How do I want them to see my photo? Okay? So this is more on the creative concept side, okay? It's not so much a technical thing. It's about directing the eye. And I think if you take this and start practicing it on your own photos, I think you're going to walk away with a lot more interesting photos. Okay? So there we go. All right? The before and the after. And you notice the lightest part is on the path because we lightened that. And the eye flows through the frame. And that's exactly what my intention was. All right? So I'm going to leave it at that. Guys, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later.